and welcome to Broken Journey, the podcast. I am your host, Elba Rivera. I created this podcast to share stories of people who have overcome obstacles in their life. Like the broken journey. Anyway, it is my hope that by listening, you will pick up your broken pieces and create a masterpiece for the future. Thank you for joining my podcast. Have a good day. Hey guys, welcome to Broken Journey, the podcast. I am your host, Elba Rivera. Today you might hear a little bit of background noise because I'm driving and I figured I'd start my podcast because I have been procrastinating. I don't know why I have been procrastinating about this. There's so much that I want to talk about, so much things that have gone on, so many things that I feel need to be heard. But for some reason, I have been procrastinating. And it's very upsetting because I know that I have stuff that I can talk about that people need to hear. But for some reason, I allow my procrastination to take over. So I remember back some time ago that I would get stuff done and complete everything that I had. And for some reason, the past 3 years or so, I've been procrastinating. And it's so freaking annoying. It pisses me off because I know that I can do it. I know that I can get things done. I've done it before. I've never had a problem before. And I don't know if it's my mindset that I need to change. Maybe my pep talks, talking to myself, telling myself I am enough, that I can get it done. And it's just irritating to me. So I figured, let me talk about it. Maybe somebody else is going through this too, where you're waiting to the last minute to get things done and then you're feeling stressed out. So, I need to get this podcast done. I have topics that I can talk about. However, when I start to think about it, I'm like, I don't know, I start to freeze. Like, what am I going to say? Why do I want to make sure that it's perfect? Why don't I just get the podcast done and then edit if I need to edit wherever I need to edit? However, it's just like my mentality is all over the place. And it's frustrating. And I see myself saying, no, this is not good. No, it's not, And when you're first starting a podcast, nobody's podcast is perfect, right? Eventually you start learning how to talk about things. Eventually you start, getting people on your podcast so you can talk about different things and topics, right? So for me, my podcast is about, different journeys and different things that people deal with on a daily basis, right? And how some people have overcome them and what they're doing to overcome, right? Because there's always going to be obstacles in life, and there's always going to be situations where, you have to deal with. If you don't have any of those bumps in the road, then you're doing life wrong, because life is a journey, and yes, you need to deal with it in a sound mind and in ways that'll help you cope with certain things, right? But overall, life has its journeys, and we have to learn how to work with them, to see things instead of as a problem or an issue, see it as a purpose in your life, right? Something that's going to teach you something so that you can move forward. I feel like I am rambling on and talking about the same thing over and over, so I don't know. I feel like my mind is scattered. Like I can't get clarity in my mind, and it's so frustrating. I don't even know where to begin with this podcast right now, because I have a notebook with a list of items that I want to talk about, but then when I start getting to it, I'm like, okay, Elba, you're gonna get started on your podcast, and then I'm like, okay, what exactly, what is the time, not the timeline, but what exactly is the, I forgot what it's called. Outline. So when I get started thinking about starting the podcast, I'm like, okay, what is your outline? What is this? What is that? And then I start beating myself up because I don't have everything that I need. And it's so frustrating. Why do I need everything? How about just talking and having a conversation with yourself? So, and it'll flow, right? The topics you have, start having a conversation, and things will flow as you are talking. But for some reason, I feel like I need to have everything perfect, and that mindset will paralyze you. And so I'm trying to talk about this so that I can remember, or I can remind myself that life is not perfect, that whatever you need to do, you can do. And if there's a bump in the road, or if there's something that is not perfect, it's okay. It is okay. Why does it have to be perfect? The only one that knows if it's perfect or if it's not perfect is you. Is you. Because you know exactly what you want to do. And you know how you want it to be. But not everybody listening to your podcast is going to know that it's imperfect, right? So why am I beating myself over this crap? It's just so damn annoying. So I'm venting on the podcast today because this month I was supposed to do 5 podcasts, and that's like 1 podcast a week, and I believe I've only done 1. And if I want this podcast to grow, I'm gonna need to focus. I'm going to need to take out time to get it done. And that's another thing. I've allowed my corporate America job to take over my time. And to be honest with you, I'm at a point where I'm just over my corporate America job. So what am I gonna do to give myself that freedom? What am I gonna do to make sure that I have enough income to cover the income that I have right now and more? Because I also need to start investing, because I only have 20 more years to retire, and I don't want to wait until I'm 70, 80 years old to retire. I want to be able to retire at a decent time, enjoy my life, have flexibility, have the flexibility that I want to be able to do things that I want, right? And I know probably you're listening to this like, yeah, everybody wants that. But what are we doing? What are we doing to make sure that we get that done? What are we doing to grow so that we don't have to worry about depending on corporate America? I'm tired of depending on corporate America for my income. I want to have multiple streams of passive income so that I have the flexibility to do what I really love to do. And so it's never too late, right, to start. But I feel like I'm behind schedule. And so I want to start getting the ball rolling so that I can start living that life that I want. And I'm going to start a dream journal so that I can make sure every time I am procrastinating, I can go back and read that journal and remind myself that I still have work to do in order for me to get to that point A. I mean, that from point A to point B or Z, whatever it is, right? And I just feel like, you need to be serious about this. You need to start looking into getting it done and stop procrastinating. And so my word for this year, 2021, is growth. And it looks like God is putting me in that stressful situation so that I can get my ass rolling. Get that shit done. Because I have this problem of procrastinating. Or feeling like I'm not enough. Feeling like I can't get it done. I have this problem with feeling like I'm not enough. Like a problem that I can't get it done. When I know, in my mind, I know I can get it done. I can do anything that I put my mind to. So I need to constantly check my mind, because your mind is your worst enemy. Guys, let me tell you, your mind is your worst enemy. Your mind will tell you you cannot get it done. Your mind will tell you that you can't do it. When in fact, you could do whatever the hell you want to do. You can get whatever you want to get done as long as you put your mind to it. As long as you put the work into it. Like, anything is possible. And not only that, like, put it into the universe. Put it out there that this is what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna make sure that this is successful because I got God behind me. Or if you believe in the universe and you don't believe in God, that's fine. Just put it out there so that you know that you can get it done. You know that it's going to be done. And your subconscious, let me tell you something. Your subconscious is also your worst enemy. Once you start thinking all these negative thoughts, those negative thoughts are going to continue to be there until you wash it out. Kind of like, you have a sponge that is dirty because you were washing dishes, right? When you finish washing dishes, do you not run the sponge under the water and squeeze it until all the soap is out and all the dirt? Right? That's the same thing you got to do with your subconscious. Clean it out and make sure that every time you are talking about something that is related to your life, make sure that it's all positive. Make sure you start talking about positive things that you are going to do in your life, positive things that are going to happen, right? Start talking into fruition. I hope I said that word right. My words between Spanish and English are like all over the place. And not that I'm great at speaking Spanish, but sometimes some of my words get caught up together. But anyway, you want to make sure that you talk those things into existence. And you start making sure that everything that you're saying is positive. Even when you don't think it's positive. Right? Even if you don't think, like, even if you don't feel positive that day, start talking positive to yourself. Saying, today is going to be a good day. Today I'm going to get these things done. Write a list of what you want to get done today. Make a list of the positive things that are going to happen. Why don't you start just saying, yeah, today I'm going to finish this podcast. Or rather, today my podcast is done. My podcast is edited. My podcast is complete. And I am publishing this podcast today. Right? Or, say, today I am going to finish blah, blah, blah. And it's going to be exactly the way that it needs to be. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's going to be where it needs to be. And that's where I'm at right now. I need to talk. I'm talking to myself. I guess I'm talking to myself, right? I'm giving myself this pep talk because for some reason I'm procrastinating on my business, my Mary Kay business. I'm procrastinating on my podcast. And all of this is because corporate America, I am tied to corporate America. Corporate America kind of dictates my life right now. And I'm so fucking over it. I am so fucking over it. I'm tired of having corporate America dictate my life. My job doesn't appreciate shit, right? They go and I prove myself to them. I prove what I can do. And I still get denied for my promotion. But still, I'm still working at this company, right? Because this is my main income. So I started thinking, what are you going to do to make sure that you're not codependent on corporate America, right? What are you going to do to make sure that you don't have to, that if this shit ever happens again with corporate America, that you can say, bye, I don't need to be here, right? And that's where I'm at right now. I want to be able to say, you know what, I have a whole year of income saved so that if I decide I'm just over this fucking job, I'm over this company, I'm over not being appreciated, and I could just leave. And I could just leave. But anyway, guys, this is my little rant. This is my little pep talk to myself. This is to anybody who is dealing with a situation like this, and it doesn't have to do with corporate America, or, dealing with a situation where you are procrastinating because you don't feel like you are enough. Let me just tell you, you are enough, and keep repeating that to yourself, because you can do whatever you want to do. You can do whatever you want to do. You just need to put your mindset to it. Anyway, guys, this is me ranting, giving myself a pep talk, and making sure that I remember what my goal is in life. Right? My goal is not to be in corporate America working for them for the next 40 years. I'm going to make sure that I take this opportunity to... Damn it. You see, I get frustrated with myself. Relax. So this is just a pep talk. Me ranting, talking to myself, giving myself a pep talk that I am enough, giving myself that time to release the stress, the anger, and to remind myself that I can do this. So if you are out there and you're feeling the same way, just remember you could do this. You can get it done. Whatever it is that you've been procrastinating on, you can get it done. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening to my rant and my pep talk to myself. I hope that me talking to myself about getting things done and stop procrastinating has also resonated with you. Have a good day, guys. Bye.